Wow. Welcome back, everyone, to Fun in the Locker Room. You're watching us live on YouTube. We've really made it in life, as you can tell. We started on the radio, and now we're here live on YouTube. Great sponsorship. Thank you, YouTube, for sponsoring us. Sean Rankle, Liam Holloway, Troy Karstetter, as always. We got some football. It's September 9th, and it is 7:21 p.m. Eastern. We are approaching Monday Night Football, the end of week one of the NFL season, and we're not going to waste any time. We're going to jump right into it. If you like the content you see, make sure to subscribe to Fun in the Locker Room YouTube channel. We cover every single sports season. We're going to open it with Mr. Sean Rankle's take of the week. What is your hot take of the NFL season so far?
I am going to be calm this year for lots of things other than my Giants. And in general, this doesn't matter. The week one does not matter in the NFL anymore. Nobody plays in the preseason. Like, it just doesn't – I can't get too over mad about anything. Like, nothing matters. Marv Harrison getting 1.4 points does not matter. Amon St. Brown getting 3.7 points does not matter. Like, these guys are going to take time to build into these offenses, build into these systems. They're good players. We've seen historically they're really good. I'm not going to overreact over week one, and I think I'm going to disagree with a couple of you guys' takes. You guys will come up in a second, but in general, team-wise, and also, if a team has shown historically they're good and have talent, and they have talent on the team, I'm not concerned about a week one bad performance just because of not gelling, no offseason work, something like that is not concerning to me in week one. Obviously, this does not apply to the Giants.
Oh, okay.
Until later, I have no confidence in them. Just to put it out there. Don't make it think it's twisted in that way.
I totally thought it was twisted in that way. Okay.
Rank, you surprised me there. I thought it was definitely twisted for the Giants. But I want to follow up on that take. I think this was one of the most underwhelming just weeks in terms of pure offense that we've seen in a while. I think I saw a stat that there were only 33 passing touchdowns or something so far, which is by far the lowest amount that it's been on week one in a while. That doesn't mean that there weren't a lot of good games, but offenses need to start showing up. I'm ready to see week two and tonight what's in store offensively.
Liam, I'm going to play a little devil's advocate there. Yeah, there weren't a lot of offensive touchdowns. You were correct. But were you not, out of all people, were you not excited about – there was a lot of special teams, very cool events, punt return touchdowns, punt blocks, pick sixes, kick returns, with a brand new kickoff. It was pretty cool to see a kick return touchdown. I'm a little surprised at that take from you.
I thought it was the offense was underwhelming.
Yes.
Special teams, once again, carries the load. I mean, week in and week out, special teams wins games, and we saw that all over the place. Who would have thought we'd see a double safety in the first half? I mean, come on. That's unbelievable stuff.
Or the Bears not having 0 points in offense and 24 points by their special teams defense and somehow winning the game in Caleb Williams' debut. Like, that's ridiculous. And an anomaly that only happens when you play against Titans.
Yeah. Very exciting. Same thing with the Steelers, too. Steelers scored 6 field goals, didn't score a single touchdown, won the game.
I got a hot take for you guys. I think the dynamic kickoff is so much better than the old way.
Wow.
Why? Elaborate on that.
People got to take it out. If it lands in the landing zone, you got to run it out. That's the way it should be, and guys will get hurt less. I think it's just overall great for the game.
Yeah, I was very hesitant against it at first. I don't know. I don't really like change when it comes to the NFL rules. I feel like I don't think this is that hot of a take that some rule changes in the past have really led to the nickname, the No Fun League. And honestly, it was pretty I didn't have a lot of knowledge about this when I just kind of assumed that it was – I ignorantly assumed this was part of that agenda. But, yeah, it was pretty exciting. There were some cool returns, so I'm with you on that.
It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Like, I feel like I can't say I'm excited about it yet because it still just feels so weird watching, like, all this space coming up, the way the kickers are kicking the ball differently, like, the rules. It's going to take a little bit to understand it and, like, see how they do it. But I feel like smart special teams minds can find up ways to
Oh yeah.
make this a huge advantage to certain teams.
I think we're going to see an explosion of special teams coachings and like special teams plays, which I'm just overall super pumped about it.
All right, Truett, what is your hot take of the week?
Yeah, it was tough to narrow in on a hot take because I'll agree with you. I feel like week one was just kind of all over the place. There were some teams that I feel like really let us down, one of which I'm just going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. Everyone is excited. Joe Burrow's got his new haircut. He's finally healthy. And we've all seen the memes. Joe Burrow when he doesn't have 3 wide receiver ones. We've all seen the meme. And I think it's a little overstated, but no T. Higgins. Tyler Boyd is now gone. And losing to the Patriots, granted the Patriots are in a new era, so I'm not going to just say like, oh, the Patriots are guaranteed to be dog shit. But this is pretty inexcusable loss for a team that has high aspirations beyond the regular season. Zach Moss comes in from the offseason, did great with the Colts, really was pretty lackluster. 44 yards on 9 carries is really not what you want to see from a new acquisition. And then Jamar Chase, 6 targets. I mean, what is that saying about how open he's getting? And maybe he's going to have a little bit more difficulty now that he doesn't have T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, commanding the rightful attention that they did. So I'm a little concerned. You see Joe Burrow on the sidelines looking very defeated. Body language is not good. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. And maybe I'm just overreacting a little bit because it is week one.
It's an interesting combination because there was some stat going into week one that this is the first full offseason Joe Burrow's had since his rookie season to actually he's been healthy and be able to practice. But it's also an offseason where he hasn't had his top 2 wide receivers almost at all. So it's like a double-edged sword in that aspect. And I think it's kind of proved T. Higgins right that he's worthwhile to this offense. And Jamar Chase hasn't played. I'm going back to my take. Week one doesn't matter. I'm not at all concerned about the Bengals. Obviously, lots of mistakes, lots of things to be cleaned up. But when they're running Jamar Chase out and he's getting 6 catches and a bunch of guys who have never and should never see the football field, I'm not going to get too concerned yet.
Yeah, I completely agree with that rank. And listen, the Bengals did not have a lot of things go their way. The Gesicki touchdown got called back. They fumbled on the goal line. They fumbled about 50 times yesterday. That's probably not going to happen when you have Jamar Chase on his regular snap count and T. Higgins actually on the field. What I will say is this. That offensive line, it's atrocious, and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. If Cincinnati wants to be competitive for the future, they got to upgrade the offensive line. It's poor.
I wish someone had a stat. I don't have the stat in front of me. Maybe you guys do, of how many times Joe Burrow's gotten sacked in his career, because I'm sure it's a pretty steady amount. It's not going to be the highest in the league, but it's got to be a steadier amount. And Joe Burrow's already had some injuries. And Liam, to your point, I think that's a worthwhile investment. You need to do what the Lions have done and a lot of other teams, and invest in that O-line, protect your QB, and really expedite that offense.
On the flip side, want to give a rare shout out to the Patriots. Nobody expected them to win this game. Nobody expected them to compete, and they won on the road. Big win for them. Big win for them.
Jared Mayo's coaching debut got a win, and I have never once in my life been happy about a Patriots win, but to see you get the Gatorade shower and everything, it was actually a pretty cool moment. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see when we actually see Drake May this year, because Jacoby Brissett's not the future there, and what can May do in this offense? New head coaches, new coordinators. It's a different Patriots team.
Yeah, it's a little bit of uncharted territory, Rank, to your point. There's been a guy under center for a while, and he's not there anymore and hasn't been there for a while. And if you're going to have this investment in Drake May, then maybe have him sit 2 years. It looks like Ramondre Stevenson's going to be the workhorse, and whether it's Brissett or Drake May behind him, it's a great thing to have. Especially if you're a rookie QB. So
yeah, absolutely.
See what happens.
So now that we're live, we have a fan question for our next segment. I think
we're going to go
to the Texans Colts game.
Ooh.
Who is this fan? Does it say?
Texans Colts, number one fan, Thomas Casper. Big question about, how Tom, our number one fan, loves to know the little intricacies of football. And he's curious about our thoughts on our favorite running back, Joe Mixon, not wearing gloves this week, and how that impacted his ability to shred the Colts defense, which he actually looked pretty good. Like, as much as we like to shit on Joe Mixon.
Let you take this one, Liam.
Listen, Mixie, he's a pro's pro. You know, he's a plug-and-play player, and in a dynamic offense like the Texans have, anybody would be good. But Mixie's been around the block a couple times, you know. He can run it. He can run it. That Texans offense was looking potent. But what a game that was.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to give a big shout out to Anthony Richardson. One of the best throws I've ever seen. That absolute, I think it was 60-yard bomb, but he threw 70 yards in the air.
Yeah.
He is special. And that division might be a dogfight, boys. I really think it will.
That division used to be just booty for a long time. And it's really cool. Like this was obviously a playoff matchup last year, or was it a week 17?
I think a week 18.
Week 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, this would be a great playoff matchup in the future. And Liam, to your point, you got young QBs in here, and this was a great week 1 game. Richardson is really crazy. Like, and stats don't even do it justice. Like you said, Liam, the eye test is just he looks incredible.
Yeah.
Flipping over to the Texans, it's interesting, I guess, from just we were all wondering how these 3 wide receivers are going to gel together and who's going to get the touches, how are they going to spread this out. And after week 1, I think the stats were that Nico Collins and Tank Dell both had 100-yard receiving games. Stephon Diggs had 9 receiving yards, but he had the 2 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's just going to be interesting to see how they spread the ball around this offense. Is Diggs going to become the red zone guy, and these guys are going to be open on the field? But it's such a luxury to have these 3 wide receivers if they can all stay happy and healthy.
Happy and healthy.
Great point.
Yeah, I think this was as well as it could be. They all got a bunch of targets. They excelled in a variety of ways. Nico Collins with the yards, Stephon Diggs with the touchdowns. I was worried too, Rank, and I don't think this could have gone any better. Unless you're Dalton Schultz, but it's okay.
It will definitely be a fun offense to watch. And if Joe Mixon plays this well, the tempo, it's besides fantasy, besides all those other things, it's a fun offense to watch. It's going to be one of the top offenses in the NFL. And the Texans and Colts, probably the top 2 teams balanced out because Jags are good at times, but we can switch over to the Jags.
Well, I got one more question before we leave the Texans, because we all know they brought in the veteran talent on both sides of the ball. I think this is one of the most complete teams in football. Is that a hot take to say?
I don't think it's a hot take to say, especially with just the pure amount of weapons that they have, like you said. I mean, that underneath route that they ran for Diggs on the goal line for one of his touchdowns, it was just a thing of beauty. With good play calling and CJ Stroud, if he takes a leap second year, this team, I mean, sky's the limit. It really is.
And we all know the recipe, the QBs on the rookie deals, and you put weapons around them. I mean, this scary hours.
Mm-hmm.
Recipe for success.
Yeah. All right. Jags, Dolphins, the other team that's going to be competitive in that AFC South division. The Jaguars showed some fight. They played well in the first half, definitely, but I feel like Jags team just can never be consistent.
They should have won this game. They did the one thing against the Dolphins that you can't let happen, and that's let Tyreek Hill run all over you. And you knew he was going to play a little angry considering what happened, and I'm sure we'll dive into that. But, I mean, the Jags, they had so many opportunities to go up 3 scores, and they couldn't do it. And, when you have a cheat on your team, you're never out of it. Shout out Tyreek Hill. One of the best celebrations I think there's ever been in the NFL. The hat comes. But, man, what a victory for the Dolphins.
Tyreek Hill with a little Scotty Scheffler moment right there, getting detained before a game and having a great game. Tua looked good. Not really much in the ground game, but didn't need to. Everything through the air. Tyreek, Waddle, A-Chain firing on all cylinders. I will say I saw a lot of good stuff out of Trevor Lawrence, particularly that one throw to Brian Thomas in the end zone. Very beautiful. And I wasn't super familiar with Brian Thomas, going to the draft, but he looks like he could be a really good complementary piece to Trevor Lawrence. You're a little thin at the pass catching perspective. You got Ingram, obviously, and Christian Kirk and ETN, but adding a guy like that, I think, doesn't hurt at all.
Seeing the camera angle of where Brian Thomas was when that ball was released compared to where it ended up is crazy.
Yeah.
Another fan question. Are we concerned that Christian Kirk coming in as the number one wide receiver in this offense, only one catch, 30 yards, is he moving down the pecking order here in Jacksonville?
Listen, ranks take, we're going to go right back to that. It's week 1. A lot of wide receivers, a lot of number ones underperformed this week. Marvin Harrison, Chris Olave, Amon-Ra. You go up and down the list. I think Christian Kirk will be okay. I mean, ideally, he's not a number one on any team, but I think they'll be okay. They got a good offensive line. They got a good running back, a solid quarterback, and they'll be fine on offense. I think Christian Kirk will turn it around.
Yeah, I definitely do think that the Brian Thomas emergence is going to be big because he's kind of the future. Like, as we say, Christian Kirk shouldn't be a number one. Brian Thomas has the potential to become the number one wide receiver in this offense.
Yeah. Well, and one reception for Christian Kirk, but he had 4 targets, and he was tied. Brian Thomas, Kirk, and Ingram all tied for team lead 4 targets. So I think they're trying to distribute the ball. You just got to haul in, those targets at the end of the day. Ingram obviously had a great year for receptions as a tight end last year. So dynamic offense, but to your point, maybe Christian Kirk doesn't have to be wide receiver 1, and hopefully he's okay with it because for the better interest of his team, that might be what they have to do.
Yeah. One last thing about the Dolphins before we move on. I still am a little concerned with the Dolphins because, yes, we know that they can score in these high-power offenses and score in these comebacks, and no lead is ever safe against this team. But I want to see how this team can play with a lead because this rushing attack, like Achane and Mostert, are not power running backs. They're not really running down the middle. You're getting them in space, kind of things like that. And I'm curious to see if they can control a game in a way that we haven't seen them do in this era down in Miami.
You know what they really need is, because Achane reminds me a lot of Gibbs in the speed and his elusiveness, and they could really use a David Montgomery to complement that. Obviously, we saw last night, and we'll get into that. Those two best running back room in the league, and if you're trying to run out the game, run out the clock, or just wear down your opponents, you're set for that. And as much as I like Raheem Mostert, doesn't have necessarily the complementary skill to Achane. It's a little bit of redundancy, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. You guys want to move on to that game? I'd love to get into the Lions.
Let's get in it. Let's unpack it, Liam. Lead us on that.
Talk about a power running game for the Lions. I mean, Dan Campbell had a game plan this game, and passing wasn't working. So he decided, you know what? Open your mouth. I'm going to run it right down your throat. That's what he was saying. Shout out Gibby. Shout out Monty. One thing that we got to address. The overtime rule in 2024, both teams need the ball. What are we doing? I mean, come on. It's so ridiculous that it's not college rules. It's beyond ridiculous, but the Lions took care of business. And once they get that passing game going, man, that offense is going to be lethal.
And Jameson Williams had a great game. Like, he was a guy getting drafted last year, coming off the ACL injury. Like, he had a slow coming back into the system, but he's so fast, so electric, such another dynamic offensive weapon in an offense that, as Liam had pointed, like, they can run the football with Gibbs and Montgomery. You got Amon-Ra who's going to bounce back, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. Like, we're talking about the Texans offense. The Lions offense is just as good, maybe even more dangerous with this rushing attack. Like, they are going to be a serious threat. And I think I saw the stat that they only play like one game outside this entire season.
Yeah.
Wow. That's huge.
Like, this team is going to be a problem.
I'm going to make a horrible analogy. You guys are going to hate it, but it's just connecting for me because we were talking about the Bengals, very thin at wide receiver, and they didn't have the running back to really have a balanced attack. If you look at the depth chart for the Lions, they lost Josh Reynolds, who was a key part of that offense. You have Amon-Ra, and you have Jameson Williams. And outside of that, from a wide receiver perspective, it's really thin, and it reminds me a little bit of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. But, obviously, like we said, if the passing game isn't working, Amon-Ra, wasn't able to get going, you have two great running backs. And all this is just to say it's really good that Jameson Williams is stepping up, because outside of Jameson, Amon-Ra, and Laporta when he's catching, you really don't have anyone else. So that might have been a horrible analogy, but it's just the way I saw it.
Yeah, I think we'll see Gibby. I want to see him get the ball, maybe a little pass catching for him too. But this Lions team, is it a hot take to say that they are the best offensive team in the NFL, talent-wise?
They're up there.
They're definitely up there. I really like how Dan Campbell, he kind of got burned a little bit with his fourth down calls in the playoffs last year, and he did not change his philosophy whatsoever. Went for it on some fourth downs in crucial time of the game, and you got to stick to your guns, and I love to see that.
Absolutely.
Other side of the ball, the Rams. Cooper Kupp did not skip a beat coming back into this offense after last year. He's fully back. He led the NFL with 20 targets. It's a ridiculous number of targets. He was all around, especially with the Puka Nacua injury. Cooper Kupp is the man in this offense, and potentially there's a big drop off after him. He's going to have to pull a lot of weight with Puka Nacua out for at least 4 weeks to this Rams team to stay competitive.
Mm-hmm. I'm so excited that Cooper Kupp is back. It's great for the game, and him and Stafford, man, it's like peanut butter and jelly. What a duo they are.
You go.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Truitt. How scared are you of the Rams in that division?
Not to glaze them, but I put them in the same category as the Niners. I'm very terrified of a healthy Stafford. Kyron Williams does his thing. Another thin receiving room, it's good that Kupp is back, because outside of Kupp and Nacua, you don't have Robert Woods anymore, Van Jefferson. Those are all guys of the past. No Higbee anymore. It's going to be a lot of reliance on Cooper Kupp, which, to your point, is why he had 20 receptions. No Aaron Donald anymore, and we can get into the defense a little bit. But, yeah, I respect them a lot. I don't like them, but I respect them, and I don't – you got to tread lightly if you're the Seahawks in any game. This is a dangerous team for sure. Stafford to Kupp, that can eat you alive, throughout the entire game. But, yeah, well, real quick, are you concerned with the Rams at all? They did lose – I wouldn't call it a shootout, but, is it concern or just business as usual? Move on to the next week.
I think they'll be fine. It's week 1 and they're missing Puka. It's very encouraging for them that Cooper Kupp once again looked like a top 5 wide receiver. He was incredible yesterday. I want to get into the Thursday night game, that first game of the season, boys. We got to talk about Ravens Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
What a game that was. Defending champion, rematch of the AFC chip. And we got our money's worth for this one. Came down to the last play. I was wishing we could have got one more play of football, some free football. I would love that. But what are you guys' takes from that game?
I feel like on the Ravens side of the ball, I'll start with here. I thought this would have been a better team around Lamar Jackson, and it's starting to. I know you, Liam. You always harp on the fact that there's nobody here on this team other than Lamar Jackson, and it's starting to me to come down to whether is it play calling, is it Lamar Jackson? Because you have Derrick Henry, who at the start of the game was whoa, this is Derrick Henry of old, he's going to play, make a big part of this team. But they stopped giving him the ball. They stopped giving him the ball and having Lamar Jackson do what he used to do. And how many times are they going to have to do this and see that does not work for them to actually commit to having a running game other than Lamar Jackson?
I completely agree, Rick. I think we can all agree offensively, by far the best squad that the Ravens have put together around Lamar Jackson. But to give Derrick Henry only 13 carries makes no sense in a back and forth game. I want to give a huge shout out to Isaiah Likely, former Coastal Carolina Chanticleer, had the game of his life. That juke move he hit on the touchdown, oh my goodness. It's like something out of a commercial. But outside of that, Zay Flowers did his thing. Mark Andrews, nowhere to be found. Like Rank said, Derrick Henry, nowhere to be found. They had no rushing game outside of Lamar Jackson. And they have Derrick Henry. What are they doing?
Yeah. Also, how does Lamar Jackson miss Zay Flowers on that game-winning touchdown? Like, that was wide open.
Yeah.
The route was
They had
run
two
correctly.
Yeah. I'm going to disagree with you a little bit, and maybe I'm just a little critical. I'm still a little critical of this team. I mean, Likely and Zay Flowers, I think we're going to see a real fall off from what Mark Andrews used to be. And, if you take that into consideration, you got Zay Flowers in his second year, who it looked like he was really trying to determine, hey, that fumble in the playoff game is a thing of the past. And you got Likely. I still think you need like a go-to guy, a prime Stephon Diggs, just someone that you can just feed the ball to. Derrick Henry, great addition to Rank's point. If he's going to be your great addition, give him the ball. But they didn't draft any receivers. You're still going to Rashad Bateman and Nelson Aguilar sometimes. I don't know who would be a fan of Nelson Aguilar, but
yeah, having Nelson Aguilar in your wide receiver room is never a good thing. We'll say that. But I think the Baltimore defense did miss a beat. Really kept them in this game and kept the Chiefs in check. On the other side, we got to talk about the Chiefs. Shout out Xavier Worthy, man. Worst mistake the Bills could have made was letting the Chiefs get this guy. Oh, man. They found their Tyreek Hill. So not only they have Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, they didn't even need to use Kelsey, and they still won. All around, great game from the Chiefs. They played really well and deserved to win this game.
It really just adds another dimension that this team it's hard to say the Chiefs are missing anything, but it's another dimension that they can exploit and use to utterly embarrass teams at times. I feel like Patrick Mahomes has kind of like become a little pedestrian at times. Like his stats are not great. He's throwing interceptions. I'm curious to see if he can improve as the season goes on, as he gets more connections with these young wide receivers and gets them the ball in space and be able to do more work with it.
I won't repeat what has already been said about, Worthy, obviously great player, super fast guy. But I know we've made like obviously the Patriots dynasty, Chiefs dynasty comparisons already. We don't need to make those anymore, but just one shout out to the Chiefs, their coaching, their talent development, their scouting. I mean, they very quiet. I feel like when Mahomes came into the league, he did not have a good defense. And this defense is just so dominant. Chris Jones, you got guys coming out of nowhere, Trent McDuffie, Justin Reed, these guys, it just says a lot about this unit. You're not going to have like a Tyrann Mathieu or like a Aaron Donald or something that's like the guy that's going to get like a triple team. But you just have a solid unit with just guys that come in, you plug and play them in. And I mean, maybe to your point, Rank, like Tom Brady didn't always have like the greatest statistical games, and it's just a complete performance. And I'm kind of glazing them a little bit, but shout out.
Yeah, it's going to be both these teams. I think we're going to expect to be competitive this season. I think overall we're probably a little lower on the Ravens than we have in the past, but we'll see how that turns around.
Would love to see this matchup in the playoffs.
Let's see it again. Should we go to Brazil?
Yeah, let's go to Brazil.
Rank,
you take this one, buddy.
Yeah.
Saquon had his first game with the Philadelphia Eagles in a ugly uniform that looked terrible. And it felt very painful watching him, and I'm hoping that they don't do as well as they did last game, because the way they were able to utilize Saquon and the way he was running, looked like he was 4 years younger than he really was. Like, he had the explosiveness, the agility, everything that made him worthy of a fourth overall pick in an NFL draft 1 year. He's got the talent. Nobody's ever denied it. And he's got a team around him that can exploit him. And it sucks. It sucks. But not one part of me thinks the Giants should have re-signed him. So I'm not unhappy about that. It had to go this way. But it sucks.
Yeah, Rank, I don't want to harp on Saquon too much because I know it's a sore subject, but some running backs are described as running angry or running mad. What Saquon did, it was like he was running joyful or ecstatic. He just seems so happy to be there, and you got to be happy for the guy.
Bro, you said you weren't gonna harp on it, bro.
This is all I'm gonna say. This is all I'm gonna say. He looked happy, and if Jalen Hurts didn't have a shitter, they probably would have won by 3 scores. So good for the Eagles. They got the job done, but we got to talk about the Packers, man. I think the Packers, they could be the real deal. They really could. Jaden Reed, unbelievable. Already took a sophomore leap. Jordan Love looked good. I hope he's okay. Yeah. Do we know what's going on?
I think it's a sprain, a few weeks.
Oh, gosh.
Nothing serious, but good recovery, hopefully.
So does this mean Malik Willis will finally get his chance?
He is starting in Green Bay.
Yeah.
The guy did he know he needs to throw the ball in the last play? Jesus Christ.
That made me so angry. Oh, man.
It sucks that Jordan Love got hurt because he's one of the faces of the NFC, and Packers are going to be a strong team this year. And that offense, another offense, we're talking about young wide receivers. Josh Jacobs looked good. Like, this is another talented offensive team that will put up numbers when Jordan Love gets back.
They'll be okay. They still got a good defense too. They'll be fine. They just need to win the games they're supposed to win until he gets back.
Yep. Malik Willis has to manage the game.
Liam, do you want to just get right into it, man? Have your time to shine? Say a little something about them boys up in New Orleans?
Listen, I don't want to overreact. We were playing the second worst team in the NFL. Sorry, Ryan.
Wow.
Dude, you were just taking sprays at him, man. Oh, my God.
The Saints looked incredible. I mean, right off the jump, I've been telling you guys, the defense is insane. And this year, no, everybody says it's week 1, calm down. I'm not going to calm down. This is going to be the number 1 defense in the NFL this season. We have weapons everywhere. And from the jump, we got on Bryce Young. Dude, it was pure built to ask for that man. Dude looked scared to drop back. I don't know who in their right mind thought it was a good idea to give us Chase Young, but it's going to be scary hours for offenses when they come into the dome. On the other side of the ball, the MVP frontrunner after week 1, Mr. Derek Carr, looked phenomenal. And I just want to say this, Clint Kubiak, you saved my life, man. He was running the craziest shit I've ever seen. He had Alvin Kamara and Olave lined up in the backfield in one play, and Juwan Johnson in motion. It was just insane. One of the best games I've seen Saints play in a while, and I'm very excited to see how they play this upcoming week.
I feel like this game all started with the Saints just getting lots of short fields. Like, I don't think many times they were driving down a whole length of field just because of how dominant that defense was against the Panthers. And you hit a nail in the coffin, Liam. Like, this is probably one of the worst teams in the NFL and could be one of the worst teams in the NFL. But it's still very encouraging to see what the defense can do. And if their defense can keep this up and keep giving that offense short fields, then the Saints could be a scary team. But when they play better teams, we're going to have to see, can Derek Carr lead a team down the field consistently? Because you can be flashy in the red zone, but can you be flashy down the field?
Absolutely. Our biggest problem last year was the red zone offense. So it was very encouraging to see us score a ton. And I just love the creativity. We had a lot of guys in motion, a lot of movement on offense. And we were able to get somewhat of a run game, which we didn't have all last season. So I'm very encouraged by that. On the flip side for the Panthers, I guess you could say they didn't miss a beat either.
Damn.
True, you got anything to add?
How did Kool-Aid do?
Kool-Aid did well. Alante Taylor and the Honey Badger. The Honey Badger was incredible yesterday.
Very nice.
Jamal
Williams is on pace for 17 touchdowns this year.
He scored that garbage time one. Nice. Everybody was scoring touchdowns yesterday, dude. I thought you scored one.
Shaheed did well too.
Dude, yeah, he looked really good. It's nice when we have different weapons. And once again, bringing Clint Kubiak in, we've already seen a world of change, and all the offensive players are behind him. Alvin Kamara was very, very happy. He felt like he's trusted now on offense. So I'm excited to see what they can do. I think we can surprise a lot of people this year.
Every time I see Kamara, I just think of that Mark Ingram Kamara backfield, and that was such a great time.
Hey, it's reenacted in Gibbs and Monty, kind of.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. All right, I know we're on a time crunch because we got to get this prediction in before the game starts. Is there anything else we need to cover before?
Steelers Falcons. I think
we should get some Titans Bears in there too, and then
Yeah.
and Cardinals Bills. All right,
We got to
go
talk
rapid
about
fire.
your squads too, boys. But
We'll go-
can I go real quick? Steelers Falcons.
Yeah, let's go rapid fire.
TJ Watt, he had maybe the best game I've ever seen a football player have. That was not only a depoy performance, that was an MVP performance that he had against the
Well
Falcons.
said. Well said.
Insane game.
Falcons wise, I think Liam's going to say it's same old Kirk Cousins, and this is going to be a bad Falcons team. But I will harp on what I said going into the game, starting the show. It's week 1, new offense, coming off an ACL injury, coming off an Achilles injury for this. This is going to take some time, but I think he's going to turn around. In a big pain point, Kyle Pitts decided this was in the first week he had just scored a touchdown after not drafting him after the previous 3 years. So thank you, Kyle Pitts, for nothing.
Rank, he went up against a good defense, and Liam, to your point, I think TJ Watt had 2 strip sack fumbles that got called back. So stats don't even do him justice for his dominance.
Dude, it was
Shout out Justin Fields too. Shout out Justin Fields.
Yeah. Shout out Boswell.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to go back. Shout out Groupie for the Saints. One of the best kicking performances I've ever seen in my life. Dude hit 2 57-yarders. It's insane.
All right, let's go Titans Bears. Caleb Williams debut. No offensive points for them. Just all special teams and kicking. Obviously, we saw the Will Levis pick 6 and no. What do you got there, Rank, for that game?
Caleb Williams going to take some time. Rookie quarterbacks go through ups and downs. CJ Stroud last year, they were talking about him. He had a terrible first game, and look what he did all the rest of the season. Caleb Williams, new quarterback, new offense, new speed of a game. You can't replicate this in practice. They always talk about speed when they come to the NFL, so give him some time. I think he'll do fine.
Liam, what do you got?
Shout out to Tony Pollard. He had a nice run. That's all I got for the Titans. I don't know how they lost that game.
Yeah, that was horrible. I'm just going to be mean for my take and say that Keenan Allen looked really bad. I didn't need to say that. That's really mean.
Everybody on offense for the Bears looked like crap.
Yeah. It's kind of ugly.
Cardinals Bills. True.
Marvin Harrison didn't really do that well. Great shootout. Josh Allen's going to win MVP. That's all I got.
I owe Josh Allen an apology. The dude, that was the pure carry job.
Yeah.
Pure carry job.
That's something you see in basketball when one guy just scores 50 points.
Yeah.
Shout out James Conner for being a great running back and doing well. I think the Cardinals offense will take some time. Marv Harrison was wide open on multiple throws that Kyler Murray just didn't see him. So Kyler Murray's got to pick his head up, look over that tall offensive line, and this wide receiver.
He's got to grow, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Dude's got to put some stilts on.
I got faith, though. He'll be fine.
That was a great game. You want to go Giants, Vikings? You want to talk about Sam Darnold? We don't have to talk about the Giants if you don't want to, Rank.
Giants.
I wouldn't mind talking about them.
Giants
I
are
want to
really
give
bad.
that Rankle fun stat of the day. Give it to us.
Yeah,
man.
fun stat of the day. Daniel Jones, in signing a 4-year, $160 million contract, has thrown more pick sixes or touchdowns for the other team than touchdowns for himself.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors already wants to quit.
Oh,
My hopes and dreams for this Giants season at this point is 1, Malik Neighbors to show that he's a number 1 wide receiver. 2, for this defensive line to actually get some pressure and get some sacks and show that they can work together. And 3, watch some college football and dream about some quarterbacks.
Right. I watched a little sports radio today, and your old buddy Tiki Barber, former Giants, was saying he saw some of the mistakes that Caleb Williams and Bo Nix made were also made by Daniel Jones. The only difference is Daniel Jones is in year 6, and they're rookies. Clock is ticking.
Well, calling Bo Nix a rookie, I mean, that's just not right. The dude is 27. So
Okay, Caleb Williams, you can throw another rookie QB in there
there you
too.
go. Yeah.
You just got to wait one more year and Arch Manning will come into the NFL and he'll be their savior.
Sam Darnold looked really good. Rank your second favorite QB.
Rank your boy.
I did. I told you he's going to play well. It's hard not to play well in an offense that's definitely got still some weapons. Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson. He was just thrown up there for those guys to make plays, and they were really good and did. I think Darnold will have a good
12
season.
to 12.
Yeah, he did. He was just picking us apart. Their offensive line did amazing. He had time in the pocket. I think the Vikings are going to surprise some teams.
Maybe help Daniel Jones out and don't have him throw the ball 42 times. That would help him out a little bit.
Well, imagine we had a running back.
We could just go down the black hole of what ifs for the Giants. What if they were good?
All right, let's move on.
Raiders Chargers.
Let's hop into your game, Broncos Seahawks.
Ugly game for anyone that watched. Very ugly game in the first half. Geno Smith threw a pick on the second play. We gave up 2 safeties in the first half. Second half was a little bit of a different story. Kenneth Walker got it going. I will say the one takeaway I'll have for this is I can tell Mike McDonald comes in from the Ravens. Huge emphasis on defense and tackling. This was maybe one of the best tackling units I've seen the Seahawks have since the Legion of Boom. Very crisp, clean tackles, right at the point of impact. The last few years, I've seen a lot of broken tackles by the other team. It's been very embarrassing. They got some young dudes that can make some good tackles. So I was very shocked by this defense. Offense is going to struggle. This O-line sucks. What else is new?
Geno Smith had a really nice run.
That was a great run. Longest run of his career.
Yeah. Bo Nix showed some potential. I'm high on Bo Nix. I think he's going to do well in this offense. Give him some time. Courtland Sutton's still in a good number 1 wide receiver, and the Broncos want to win some games.
Yeah.
Bo Nix needs to watch some film. He's got to watch some film.
Yeah.
Did you see the throw? That ball was still in the air, and the announcer's like, no, and then it's a pick. He's got to watch some film. It's a different game, obviously. It's okay.
Raiders Chargers. I'll start with this. The Chargers won a game, and Jim Harbaugh, new offense. Look at that running game. J.K. Dobbins, great game because Edwards got mixed in. Ravens West has kind of turned into pretty well. I picked the Chargers to make the playoffs, unlike the two of you, and I think this might be the year that they are for real. And if they can take some pressure off Justin Herbert, and it's just good for everybody around.
Yeah, the Raiders did him a lot of favors, but big shout out to Dobby. Big shout out to Dobby. He played really well. On the flip side, the Raiders looked absolutely horrendous. Everything went wrong for them, and they had some really, really questionable coaching decisions to punt the ball in the other team's half on 4th and 1 when you're down a score in the fourth quarter. That will never make sense. Numbers says it doesn't make sense, and your head says it doesn't make sense.
Numbers aside, shout out Lad McConkey. I don't know how many times a day 2 draft wide receiver has been the number 1 wide receiver going in week 1, but he did well. Nice touchdown. He had some good moves on that touchdown too.
Yeah.
Shout out Harbaugh. He looked really excited after that win.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last 2 ones real quick. Cowboys Browns. I think the biggest thing coming out of this is Tom Brady's an announcer. His voice sounded weird. He was shaky. It's going to take some time getting used to Tom Brady in the booth.
Bro, hop off his cock and balls, Rank.
Wow.
That's your takeaway?
Yeah. I don't care about the Cowboys or Browns. Dak Prescott played terrible. What else do you want from this?
Deshaun Watson was awful. I still can't believe that they decided to let Baker go and pay this guy $1 billion.
Worst contract of all time.
Has to be.
Oh, Liam, fun fact today. Have you seen the memes in general of the Moneyball thing?
Yes.
So, Truett, for your information, you know Moneyball, baseball?
I do. Yep.
So, Jonah Hill, the character Moneyball, is the guy he's portraying is something, I don't know this guy's real name. But anyway, he left the A's to go help the Browns.
Oh.
And he was actually part of the deal that brought Deshaun Watson to the Cleveland Browns.
What do you mean?
Like he was in the front office, like he works for the Browns.
Oh.
The guy in Moneyball brought Deshaun Watson to the Browns.
I can't watch that movie the same anymore. That sucks.
But yeah, terrible contract. The team is talented, but they're a quarterback away, and they're going to be that till his contract expires. It's also interesting to me because I feel like the Browns have been in QB purgatory because they never gotten a good one. And I feel like since they've traded for Deshaun Watson, they've actually had a couple of good ones come through, but they just can't pay them because they've already paid a really bad quarterback a lot of money.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Shout out Micah Parsons. Looked like a beast. Meanwhile, Myles Garrett really looked like a beast. So shout out that Cowboys O-line. They lost a little bit, but still looking good.
All right, last game. Commanders Bucks. Jaden Daniels had some good rushing touchdowns. Going to get in fantasy, but in general, I think this entire team's a year away from doing anything.
Yeah, they just were outmatched. Mike Evans, it pains me to say this, but he's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Baker played really well.
Yeah, Baker did.
Wow, the top two receiving yards for the Commanders were both running backs. And then a tight end. Ooh.
All right. Now, for the segment everybody's been waiting for, got a couple comments in the stream about this.
Really?
Monday Night Football picks. Jets at 49ers. 49ers minus 3.5. No McCaffrey. Surprise inactive. Our records for the first time ever, I think.
Yeah, what happened
I
last
don't think
week?
we've ever been tied. We are all 1-1. Don't think this has ever happened in the history of the show. It's a new era. True, it's tied for us, and me.
I gotta say this: we were both sides were benefactors of some very lucky outcomes. Beside both games, so we're very much even right now. Completely even playing field. That being said, we got to jump right into it. Where should we start? Who wants to go first? I already know what I'm going to pick. So
go for
it. Then yeah, do it.
Yeah. Spread is where we got 4.5.
3.5.
Did it change? Okay. Did it change at all with McCaffrey?
Yeah, it's moved from 4.5 to 3.5.
Doesn't matter what the line is, the Jets are going to win this game.
Wow. I love that.
We're going to see a Breece Hall coming out party.
Love that. That's it? Nothing else?
Oh my God.
I was thinking about this all day, to be honest. And this morning I was going to come in here and say that Kirk Cousins looked terrible coming off the Achilles. Aaron Rodgers is going to look terrible coming off the Achilles. He need a week to come back and the 49ers recovering. And then I saw on Twitter that Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers had two different procedures done because Aaron Rodgers is a lunatic. And he had the same procedure done as J.K. Dobbins. And Dobbins looked really good.
He did look good.
He did look really good.
So now I think I've flipped to I think the Jets are also going to cover. I'm going to ride with Liam. I think the 49ers without McCaffrey, Brock Purdy's going to get exposed. I know Trevor Lawrence is back, but the Jets are covering and winning this game.
I wanted to ride with Liam. We can't all go.
Everybody wants to ride Liam. What's new?
Really, Rank? You're not going to go with the Niners, Rank?
Join us, Truett.
I'm gonna join. This isn't even the sportscaster in me. This is just I don't want the Niners to win. I can't, in good conscience, wish for the Niners to win. It is the team I hate the most. And I love to see. I have Breece Hall on my fantasy team. I love to see him go off. I love to see Aaron Rodgers' little comeback player of the year moment. And I know Christian McCaffrey hurts a little bit. Who steps up? Is it? I don't even know who the backup is. There's no Mostert there anymore.
Mason.
Yeah, nobody Mason. That's who. I'm gonna go Jets. Jets. Little sweep.
Jets.
Should be a fun game.
Wow.
Excited to see Jets can do with Aaron Rodgers coming back. Are we doing Hoops Grid?
This is in San Francisco, right?
In San Francisco.
Yeah. Wow. Tip-off is in a few minutes, so let's get some Hoops Grid going. Rank, do you have the trivia I asked for, Rank?
Yeah. Before we get the Hoops Grid going, I want to go with some birthdays now, boys.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
get some birthdays.
Switching up websites actually. So we got a better list today.
I like the list already, so if this is better, I'm excited.
Starting over in basketball, we got a couple guys actually. BJ Armstrong, happy birthday to you. Shane Battier,
Wow.
legend. Happy birthday to Shane Battier. He was a part of a championship team. And of course, the head he got himself, J.R. Smith. Was
All
born
right.
in New Jersey. Happy birthday to you, J.R.
Golf legend.
And probably the best player, one of the best players of his generation, one of Rank's favorite all time, Luke Richard and Bob Mote. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Bob Mote.
Wow, Rank, I didn't know you were a big fan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a huge fan.
Rank, you have a jersey, I believe, right?
I do have a jersey.
Yep. I think it's signed. Okay, moving over to baseball. One of the fastest men to ever play the sport, Billy Hamilton. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Billy Hamilton. True, we got a legend. Mike Hampton was a great baseball player as well. It's his birthday today. He was born in '72.
What position did he play?
Figure out how old he is.
What position did he play?
He was a pitcher.
Nice. Very nice.
Really good. Let's see. Sorry, my site's being a little unresponsive here. I don't know who else we got, but I saw Luka Modric, one of the famous footballers, won a Ballon d'Or. It's his birthday today as well. Yeah.
Give me a one-name football player.
Okay.
I know you got one.
Eric Kush. Happy birthday, Mr. Kush. We love that. This can't be right. A dude named Lindsay? That's okay, man. That's kind of sad. Oh, this is a good name. Benjamin Bronson. I like that.
That's a great name.
Happy birthday, you Benji.
Strong name.
Yeah, that's all we got for football. Looking at lacrosse, we got nothing. Hockey, not looking too good today. That's all we got for birthdays, boys.
Nice.
I have a trivia question.
What do you got for us, Rank?
This is kind of crazy. I didn't know this was true.
Ooh.
Since we love special teams around here, can you name some of the guys, or can you name who's got the most kickoff returns for touchdowns in NFL history?
Devin Hester.
No. Devin
What?
Hester only has 5.
Really?
Yeah.
What is the most amount? for this guy?
9.
Wow.
Is it CDP, Cordero?
Yes. Cordell
Wow.
Patterson's got the most kickoff return touchdowns.
Good looks, Liam.
Dude, I know my special teams.
Other
Where's
fun guys
Yeah.
in the top ones. We got Percy Harvin had 5. Jacoby Jones had
Nice.
5.
Percy Harvin's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the big guys.
Wow.
Ted
Yeah.
Ginn Jr. at 3.
We got a Bucks themed one.
This
Ted
is
Ginn Jr. at 3? Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot he was like that.
Yeah, he was.
Theme of the day is Milwaukee. All right.
This is interesting.
Anyone know the random Bucks of the 2010s and 2020s?
We got to get Luke and Bob Mute on there.
Yeah. Happy birthday. It's got to be right here. No, who did he play? Let's throw him here. What?
Bro,
DiVincenzo's
Were
somewhere.
you just capping?
do it. Chris Middleton Bucks one. The Buck. Yeah.
Bro,
What?
are you just
No
bullshitting me?
shot.
That's tough.
What
You said
about
Dante?
Ursulan Ilyasova? We got him on here.
Ilyasova's good one. Let's throw a little. I don't think Dante was there when Drew was there. A little Dante. Ooh, we can do better. You said Ilyasova?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know he
Portis
played-
is too new.
Positive he played there. Maybe Giannis Bucks.
There you go. Look at that cute guy. God, what a smile. A face only a mother could love.
Frank Mason.
Frank Mason.
Ooh,
Let's go here.
that's a shout rank.
That is a good shout. Nice rank.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Dragon Bender.
Wow. Yeah. Was he? Who was he?
Forgot Bender played for him.
Put
Right.
him here. Wow. Rank double diamonds, baby.
Nice
There we go.
rank.
What are these smiles? They don't teach these guys how to smile anymore. Oh,
Is Pat Connaughton rare, you think? Or Pat Connaughton's too knowledgeable?
I would try him here. You know, Planet Pat, Planet P. Yeah.
That's not bad.
Who's this Beauchamp guy? Is he's a? Oh wait, he'd be here, I think.
Can we
People know.
sneak?
Ah,
Ooh.
When did Giannis come into the league?
like 2014, 15. He was there when Jabari Parker was still there. Maybe
Ooh.
How'd Jabari?
should we throw a little Jabari? Ah, damn.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Close.
Michael Kidd Gilchrist, maybe. I mean, not Michael Carter Williams.
Yeah, Carter Williams. Definitely.
Oh,
MC Dub. He was tough.
killing it.
OJ Mayo.
Oh yeah, of course OJ Mayo. What a legend.
Damn. Oh, look at that hair.
Did Zaza? Zaza must have played with Chris Middleton.
Nice. Nice.
There we
Put
go.
Chris Middleton, Steve Novak.
Hmm.
Ooh, wow, rank. Oh, that's a good one too, though.
Trying to think of backup guards. George Hill, maybe he could probably sneak in
Where do you want to throw him? Right.
wherever.
Ugh.
Oh wow.
Who was backup center on their championship team? Oh, how about John Henson?
Dude,
John, no, what?
what you know about John Henson? Damn.
What about
You think Larry Sanders?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
No.
Did each one play for the Bucks?
I want to give a shout out to Jacob Tuck, huge Larry Sanders fan.
What'd you say, rank?
Each one more ever play for the Bucks?
Ooh,
Each one more. What a
Drew
movie.
Holiday Bucks.
Drew Holiday Bucks. Oh, because he was with Holiday on the Pelicans.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, we should start getting some Drew Holiday Pelicans or Sixers. That would be a good one.
Hmm.
Like an Evan Turner. I don't think he ever played for the Bucks.
Dante Cunningham. What about Bobby Portis, bottom right?
I mean,
Sneaky.
we could, I can't spell Bobby. We could try. We could try. No, you can't out sneak him, Rick.
Elton Brand.
Oh.
Yuck. Frank Mason was a great shout. I totally forgot he was a player. I'm trying to go back to that MCW, Jabari Parker, John Henson.
Did
when-
Luke Babbitt ever play on the Bucks? Luke Babbitt. Can we go bottom right for that?
You want to go here?
Bottom right, please. I don't know.
I feel like he'd
No.
be here, if anything. No.
Wesley Matthews, bottom right.
Ooh, good shout. Forgot about him.
Better. Got to get rid of that George Hill. There's no way this one's good. What? Oh. Try him here. Oh, I suck. We got to get rid of these silvers.
What about Drew
Oh,
Holiday Bucks corner John? What about John Salmons?
John, who?
Who?
John Salmons?
Who the hell is that?
Oh, come on,
Who the hell knows who that is?
bro. He
Dude.
was tough. What are you talking about? Who knows?
Who was
He was
oh
cracked on the Kings.
Nikola Mirotic? Wasn't he on there for a year?
No.
Oh, who knows about that? Nikola Mirotic was on there. Come on.
Bro, it's because
All right, middle right. Torrey Craig.
You guys remember a week into the season, he was like the number one on the
Nice
MVP.
rank. Mirotic was? There's
Yeah,
no way.
because he averaged like 37 for a week or something.
That guy was crazy.
Top
Good
right.
shout, rank. There you go.
Nice, man.
DJ